It's time.
Over 50 million views. You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show.
The Joe Cronin Show.
The Joe Cronin Show.
I hope you hang your mother. This country sucks! This place sucks! CNN masturbated all fucking day. Dude, I will eat your fucking asshole out and then spit it into your mouth, baby bird style. Who wants to go? Call the show. I'll fuck your ass! I want to kill myself! If I think it sucks, I tell you!
The Joe Cronin Show. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Smackdown review. How's everybody doing? It is the first WWE event taking place in 2019, and really, you know, you still got to kind of throw it on the side there and treat it like it's not really happening yet, because we still are in that taping from last year, and really next week is going to be the moment that really defines everything for everybody, I would think. Whether that's continuation of what we've been seeing the last few weeks, or whether they go a little bit more drastic in some other kind of direction that I have no idea about. Which I hope that's the case, because if it's not, then things are going to suck. So last night's Raw was just so goddamn abysmal and boring to talk about, and it was the new year that we for the most part focused on having a fun time. And the first thing I'll say to the Joe Cronin Show longtime listeners, last night's show, I accidentally crashed the episode, so then I relaunched a new live stream in which Justin Bailey joined us, and Ken and me and Bailey had a hilarious time, and unfortunately I woke up to finding out that YouTube only processed 6 minutes of that video, and I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's still that way to this moment, and I'm hearing there's other glitches like that going on right now on YouTube. Yeah! Oh, look at this.
SD the Goon. Not too bad tonight. The new Bryan versus the real AJ, which is probably something the old Vince wanted at Rumble. Joe, can you make a bumpkin pussy juice donation to whatever the fuck dance that was from Tommy?
You got that blumpkin.
Sketch.
Got that blumpkin pussy juice. It's on the loose. Hey, the Goon, thank you for the 316, Goon. Have a damn drink for me, son. Thank you for the donation, Goon, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to try to work on that, man. I'm going to try to get that up because that was fucking hilarious. I think that saved, luckily. But the video from the second part when I launched didn't save. 6 minutes is up right now on YouTube. It's getting all kinds of dislikes because people were like, where the hell's the rest of the video? And I'm like, hey, dude, it ain't my fault. I'm pissed. And I did not record it locally like a fucking numbskull. And I recorded the first half locally, too. Oh, it's fixed now? Oh, Denise is telling me it's fixed. Oh, it is fixed. Oh, thank you. Oh, lords of YouTube. Oh, God. Rain your cum down onto my face. Rain your fucking godlike cum all over my face. Oh, God, Lord of fucking YouTube. Oh, God, love you. Sorry. I told... Yo, Jake, what's up, man?
The Lord of YouTube, rain your cum down on my face. I love that line. That was well, I was upset too because I tuned in and I'm like, oh shit, even Bailey's here. Like I only heard a little bit last night and then I wanted to listen today and I'm like, it's gone. What happened?
What the hell?
It's terrible.
I couldn't wait to clip
I'm glad
stuff.
I finally came back up.
I had so much stuff to clip. Like, there was all these things. I'm going to clip bits, and now I've even forgotten what they are, but I know they're there. And
I can't wait to hear it all. At least it worked. Hey, look at that. I messaged you before asking what happened.
Yeah. But
it's a New Year, miracle.
I really went off, I went off the rails, because it was New Year's. I was just like, Raw sucks so much. And I really just wanted to wait till next week to review this wrestling stuff. However, tonight's SmackDown, I think we can review. It's not New Year's anymore, and the show was better than Raw. So right off the bat,
it certainly seems that way.
Right? You think it was better, right? I mean,
I definitely did. I thought it was a lot better. I mean, it wasn't amazing by any means, but I even said on Twitter that I enjoyed tonight. I was entertained compared to what we've been getting, especially a lot. Last week's Christmas stuff. Forget about it. I think I watched that on 4 times speed all the way through. So
yeah, that was oh god, man, I don't know, it was bad.
In the ratings, we didn't get to talk about that together, but I heard what you had to say, and my god, 1.7, just awful.
There wasn't much I could really say about Raw to me last night. I mean, but to go through it and quickly just kind of say that it just felt abysmal, basically. I mean, they're trying to sort of steer that new direction with verbiage, but we're really not seeing that new direction yet. And next week is really going to tell us that story. If there's nothing next week, then there is going to be some problems.
Yeah, we know it's an abject failure. I mean, it's been hard because everything's been taped, pre-recorded, planned out, beforehand. A lot of things have not been able to be adjusted and tweaked yet, but
right.
I want to give him credit, but some people had even just said in the chat before, "Oh, I'm giving him till after the Rumble," and it's like, well, I think that's a little too far. I think next week, if we don't really start seeing some things, then we'll kind of be given our answer.
Heads are gonna roll, dude. I'm telling you, if this stuff doesn't pick up soon, heads are gonna roll. At least on this show, heads are gonna fucking roll, dude. I'm gonna freak out like you. I'm gonna have a conniption like no other next week if things don't change. And here's the thing: now I'm starting to get angry at all the people that I know that filled out creative positions in the company, at all the times the WWE people told me I was crazy and didn't want to hire me for some reason, and also didn't want to change the commentary up. I listened to the other day, I was binge listening to YouTube by accident. I was sitting here and I was working on some stuff, and I was binge listening to other people's opinions, which aren't much like my own, but they're much different than my own. But I'm listening to Dave Meltzer and Alvarez, and they're just pissing all over this product. It used to be that Alvarez was more cynical, right? He was more the one that had less of the patience for this kind of shit, similar to me or you or anybody. But Meltzer's hopped on the train at this point, too, and maybe that has something to do with his diminishing relationship with the WWE, but he has hopped on the train, man, with the announcers. And I just listened to them burying the announcers. And I'm like, dude, I think we've been talking bad about the announcers for about 3 years. These guys are now just getting on the board. Seriously, like, they're now just getting on the board of, like, let's bury the announce team. Like, they're finally doing it. Before they would say, well, they're pretty good, and, then this happens and that happens. And I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? This is shithole. This is terrible. And finally, goddamn Dave Meltzer is out there burying these guys as they should be buried. So that's amazing. They hate everything now. It's crazy. And it's finally, but we've been saying this for years. I mean, it's been a gradual build, and it really goes. You still find those fans everywhere, and I'm convinced that the ones that say this are, they got something screw loose in their head. Their IQ isn't very high, or there's some kind of something wrong in their brains. The ones that run around and say that we're crazy, or we're making it worse, or you're delusional, or you're the reason why it's doing bad, or what's the other one? The other thing is, they're making all this money. WWE's fine, you idiot, or
they're making the most money that they've ever made. And
you just hate why you just hate WWE and everything. Why don't you
ratings
just stop
don't
watching?
Mean anything.
Yeah, all those comments. It's like, when I was sitting here working hard on all this shit, dude, I was sitting here doing so much shit that my phone was just playing. It was going through YouTube and playing other people's shit. It played my own shit a couple times. I heard my own goddamn State of the WWE's play a couple times. Because that's how long I was sitting here doing something. And eventually it spun around to Solomonster and like Brian Alvarez and all them. And Solo comes on, he's like, because he gets all the same bullshit too. So don't we all when we criticize the product. But he gets he just brought up the great point of like, dude, I've never seen their top superstar come out and say, hey, guess what? The show sucks, you know, and then have the entire McMahon family come out the next week and say, we're sorry and we're going to do better. That has never, ever, 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 ever happened. So, like, all the people that are like, you guys are crazy or something, or ratings just don't matter at all. You know, it's like, dude, there's clearly something going on and clearly something fucked up. I mean, you got sports companies and websites and shit writing about this, like writing about how bad the WWE is and shit, like everybody everywhere. So, and then they're trying to change things. They're acknowledging everything. Dude, you have to be, that's why I think that these people are mentally challenged. And I'm not saying that to be mean or to like, to be mean to anybody out there that's like got a disability. Because some people with disabilities are very smart. You know, it can depend. But I think that there's something wrong in the brains of some of these people. Like, I don't think they're operating. Yeah, I don't think they're operating on all cylinders. You know, like Dr. Earl, you know, he's told us about his, you know, learning disabilities and stuff like that, and he is well aware of everything that's happening. But those things can be different in people's heads. You know, your head could be this way or the other way. I think these people's heads are telling them, like, eat a banana! Like, you know, I mean, Dr. Earl's brain is, you know, he's got some things here or there, maybe with speech and learning, but like he's well aware of things. Like, he's smarter than some people with lots of things, you know what I mean? Whereas I think these people are smarter at smelling fruit than other people. You know what I mean? I think they're like, oh, banana! WWE's great! Like, I mean, because there's something wrong. Do you think that everything is okay and that I'm the crazy one? I feel like there's a problem. Anyway, what did you think of... well, you know what? Let me pull up the SmackDown deal. We can go through it. I watched almost everything tonight up until the very end, right before. Let me get into this real quick right off the bat. Did you think the main event was a bit rushed?
It felt that way, and I avoided the spoilers as much as possible. Somebody had quote tweeted me, saying how AJ wins, and I avoided every other spoiler that I could because I actually wanted to watch tonight rather than just, rather than just like, oh, it's on background noise, right? You know, as previous weeks when it's taped. So I did all I could to avoid it. So the only thing I knew ahead of time was that AJ was going to win. But it really did feel rushed. Like, all right, we're going to go ahead. By the time we get everybody out here, let's hurry up. And everyone's going to hit their big spot and then done.
Right.
And I'm confused with the direction of AJ right now, especially with everything. They didn't follow up much with his attack on McMahon last week. Are they just trying to bring out the fire in AJ and make him... you know, a true contender yet again? Are they trying to inspire him, or is he turning heel with that? You figure if he attacked the boss, it'd be quite the heel turn.
Dude, I said this on Raw Review last night.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't get to go through it yet.
What did I say? I said I was worried that this would just be a throwaway type thing because they just wanted McMahon assaulted on the air. And that was it. That's
it. They wanted to have something that wasn't in the spoilers that they could make people, generate a little bit of buzz about. That's how it felt. And then you saw him tonight. And we have history between Shane and AJ. They faced each other at Mania, but we don't want to see that again. What, is Shane going to fight in Vince's honor? And, we're not going to see Vince in a match, I doubt. That would be a disaster at this point. So,
dude, I'd like to see Linda McMahon in a dress at this point. I'll take her in a fucking outfit. Hey, what's up to Brian Alex? Dude, Brian Alex in the chat just said something epic. He said, you remind me of Howard Stern. And that's fine because I get that a lot. But here's the best part. And Man Cow back in the day. Dude, Man Cow. That is a fucking throwback name.
That is a huge throwback.
That I can't believe, bro. And you got a Beavis icon? Dude, I'm in love with you, dude. Let's just go back to the 90s and let's just relive the 90s together. Like seriously,
Man Cow.
Let's go.
I haven't heard that brought up in...
Now, Man Cow's out of Chicago, I think. Isn't Man Cow out of Chicago? I don't know. Somebody remind me of it. I'm not sure. But yeah. That was pretty epic. By the way, guys, donations are all working. I believe in the description box down below, all the donation amounts are linked. Go down and take a look at them if you want. You guys will help fund my show and keep my show going since YouTube does not pay us dick anymore. And you can also super chat in the chat. You can click on the $ and super chat that way if you don't want to donate the other way. The difference is, some people ask me what the difference is. The difference is Streamlabs Twitch alerts in the description, the donation link in the description at the top. Pretty much, you can use PayPal or credit card, and I get most of the money right away, and most of it, 97% of it almost. If you super chat, YouTube takes 30%, and the super chat comes in, and it takes 30 days. There's really no difference though. But those are the little tiny differences. People keep asking. There's the answer. I wanted to move through that as quickly as possible. Thank you guys if you donate tonight, and the Goon for donating, and everybody else who will drop by and throw some questions out there via donation. And is super chat working tonight? Because last night it wasn't. Oh, Super Chat's working, Ashley says. Okay. Last night you could click on it, and then it would say unavailable, and it was fucking weird. Okay. All right. Just so we know that. Good. Happy New Year, everybody. It's the first day of the new year. It's amazing. And so let's start off right at the beginning, I guess. So the main event felt rushed to you, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to see AJ turn heel either. A few people noted in the chat, you had as well. I want to go ahead and a more vicious AJ is fine. He doesn't need to be heel at this point, and I don't think, because we know he could be a good heel character, but I prefer him as face right now with the climate of the company, if that makes sense. We need some solid faces, and he can hold the role, but why not be a little more serious, a little more threatening? I feel like he got too complacent for quite a while, and that's why the end of his championship reign kind of fell flat. So I wouldn't mind seeing him put, kind of a different light cast on him.
He's just got to be more interesting. He's got to be a little more interesting, and I think this is their attempt at that. Maybe we'll see the development of this next week. Maybe this is the seed planted, and then next week we'll see actual action about this.
Hopefully.
But again, with their track record, it's like you can't help but be cynical and say, oh, this is going to be a throwaway thing. Like in a month, you'll be like, remember when Vince said he wanted this animal and all this? Like, because this is the same thing Vince does with the shakeups usually.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I need the old Stone Cold. I want the old,
I want Cutthroat. I want you and Stephanie to tear yourself apart. I want that sibling rivalry. And then like after a week, they forget about it and they're plugging each other on the shows.
Yeah.
Like what happened to Cutthroat shit like on SmackDown and Raw? You're plugging each other every week.
There was no competition. Speaking of which, I mean, obviously we know AEW is a thing officially now. We knew for a while it was going to happen, but All Elite Wrestling is there. Double or Nothing's coming up. That's going to be the successor to All In, and I'm really curious to see what's going to happen on the 8th when they hold that conference type gathering and what information we're going to get.
If they're doing this weekly show, my opinion and my prediction is they have the ability to be seen by, I believe, by more people than certainly Impact, right? I think they've got Impact beaten on a weekly basis, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah, doing it just online. They don't need a TV deal.
Right. So if they do that, then you're up. Now you could beat Ring of Honor. So you really have the ability here, if you're the Young Bucks and Cody and everybody involved in AEW, is to become now that number 2 that's viable. TNA Impact is seen as a joke. It just will never recover at this point unless it was to hire like CM Punk and a whole bunch of other people and do something crazy. They didn't even want to buy it, and they didn't want to buy it because obviously you don't want to put yourself in with that same name. You want to stay the fuck away from that dying carcass. Yeah. And so now AEW takes over maybe as the number 1 competitor possibly of WWE. The audience is still going to be small. It's not going to compete with WWE the way a lot of people think. It's not going to work because what's happening is this indie company is going to slightly grow a little bit, and WWE has been slightly shrinking. And so if they do start competing at some point, to be honest, it may be because WWE fails more than because they're succeeding. Because, again, as we went through on I think it was a different show or last week or a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, we went through about how WWE is really still the leader. And if WWE goes up to 5 million viewers, AEW could go up to 2 or 3 million, and then they could start taking over there. But if WWE doesn't do better, then whoever is left, if WWE was to go under or to just be horrible, if WWE was just to be abysmal going forward, whoever's left is there needs to create a new audience. Either way, a new audience needs to be created. There is no new audience being created almost right now in any wrestling anywhere.
Yeah, no one's drawing in new viewers. And as you said, you put it perfectly there. The huge issue is like you said, you're not getting new eyes on any product, not just WWE in general. And the thing is, it used to be where WWE was the entryway. That was the gateway drug. So a lot of people go in and they started either in WWE, F back then, WCW, for 90s kids. And and then from here, let's check this out. Let's go and what is this? What is that? And then you found other promotions, things like that. You started to watch other companies, corporations. Now it's more people being like, oh, I'm sick of WWE, but I still want wrestling. So I mean, but they're not growing. There's no mass scale of fans coming in. So there's only so many eyes that they can get on the product at this time. So I'm curious to see what they can do for people to watch.
Hey, Luke Rojas is on the phone. Luke Rojas.
What's up? How you doing? Yo, Jake, you're like fading in and out on my...
Yeah, you're fading weird. You sound bizarre right now on Skype.
Yeah, so it's just my service.
I think it's your phone, bro.
Okay, and I sound like stuff like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude,
I don't know
weird.
if I sound like that on the show.
No, you sounded fine. It's just you were fading out when he got on the call. It's like his reception is jacked up. I don't know. Try to figure that out, Rojas. That was weird. AJ's on the phone. What's up? It might be AJ Styles. What's up, AJ?
Hello, Joe. Hello, Jake. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, the show was okay. It was pretty okay. There was two things I didn't like. The beginning and the John Cena angle. In the beginning, I'm tired of seeing Big E and baby oil and diapers and pancakes. It just makes me sick.
Yeah, the New Day failed the show, and that's I hate saying it, but there's just hardly any interest. Everything they said is so contrived and just generic, and it's like a stock footage kind of idea. Like what a silly joke can we throw in this week that's this pop culture reference, and this meme. That's we get A, B, and C from then week in and week out. And there's hardly any difference or variation at this point. It's
I'll eat
very
the fuck out of that cat. I'll eat the fuck out of that cat in the background. I'll eat that shit.
You want Simba? I don't know. It's a lot of meat.
I'll eat that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And secondly, you can tell that they edit the crowd voices.
It's God.
Like when John Cena came out, like I heard the crowd, I saw some of the crowd saying, "Let's go, Cena sucks." They deleted all of that voice. They deleted all of that and just end up with cheers.
Well, and the funny thing was he brought it up. He then brought it up, and then you were like, "What is he talking about? I don't hear anything."
Yeah, that's the thing.
And the background track that was layered in of that was awkward as shit. And then when I think.
It was so embarrassing.
I think it was, dude, was it Rusev's match? I think Rusev jumped into the corner. Somebody jumped in the corner to drop kick someone on the Tree of Woe. And the crowd went, oh, like the people flipped the fuck out for a drop kick on a Tree of Woe. And it was like, dude, it was so ridiculous. It sounded retarded. It was I was like, that's not real. This is the crowd noise.
It was really noticeable, too, at one of the times when Almas was in the ring with Cena. And I think you just put him into like a headlock, like you said, and the crowd went nuts. And I was like, did I miss something? Like, what happened? Did he flip somebody off behind Cena's back? Like, why are they losing their minds? Cena was great on the mic, though. He's usually entertaining, but he's so cynical at times with him tearing himself down. It's like, I said everything that you can say negative about me, so what else is left? And it makes you chuckle.
It makes
it's
you
funny
sick.
funny to look forward to John Cena at all. But here we are.
Makes you sick to your stomach, bro. Makes me sick.
It does in a way, but I enjoy his sporadic returns to television. I like that he kind of knows his place. He comes in when they need him. He gets a cheap pop, and then he's gone. He's not coming in and taking everybody's championship opportunity at this point. He's not, he just comes in, helps out, sells some tickets, and then leaves. So doesn't hurt he's not burying any other talent. He's not. At this point, not like he used to. So that's the thing.
Oh, they usually put him with an up-and-coming superstar or a current top superstar, and so here comes Becky Lynch. So that made sense. I kind of like what they did, but let's rewind back to the beginning because I feel like we skipped something.
Yeah, we started off like you said with the New Day, and that's the thing too. There was no payoff because it all led into the Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe match. So there was no reason for them to be out there. It was just filler.
It was just a pump up. It was like a talking point. Like,
and the crowd didn't really seem to care all that much. I mean, there was a lot of fake cheers, but
yeah, Kevin Dunn, you're afraid to put the microphones under the ring the right way to make the ring sound awesome, but you're so worried about piping in fake noise, you idiot. Why don't you go work for the Colts, you cocksucker? So they go off on this whole introduction. Big E's wearing a goddamn diaper like an idiot. Vince McMahon finally gets someone to wear that stupid thing or whatever.
Yeah, he's Baby New Year with pancakes in his crotch.
Which was funny. They threw pancakes to people in the crowd after they were in the crotch of Big E Langston.
Ball sweat. Who needs syrup?
Yeah, I could do Big E. I don't know. He was grinding. It looks like his tone is wearing down a bit, too. Big E's getting a little comfortable. Like, you know what? I'm never going to be a superstar here, really, beyond this, so I'll just stop working out as much. He didn't look as ripped as he used to look. I was thinking about him the other day. He used to look like a massive, just, like Vince McMahon would want to smell his soda pop, you know? And now I don't know. But, yeah, the New Day's been very successful. I almost wonder if they're going to finally turn at the Rumble on each other or something. But you know what? Again, they're still liked by people. You know, I saw a grown man doing the New Day thing, kids and everybody. I saw more kids tonight than I'd seen in a long time, by the way. That might have something to do with
it was a good turnout, that's for sure.
It looked like a decent turnout. Probably because New Year's Day, everybody's off. Oh, no, it's not New Year's Day. It was taped on Saturday.
Yeah, no, because it was a Saturday night show.
So that's why it was a Saturday.
What makes me, you figure it's harder to get people there when it's not a weekend.
Yeah, you're right.
I also heard that they gave out a lot of tickets and that they did a lot of, like, package specials, 4 tickets for the price of 2 kind of thing. And
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, man. That is so
It was
weird.
basically you buy 2 adult tickets, you get 2 kids tickets. It was like a family deal.
That's so weird. That's wild.
Yeah.
I give the segment. At that point, I'm feeling about, and they said some kind of funny things. I thought everything Xavier Woods said sucked. You know what? Xavier Woods, ever since you opened your stupid mouth about the fans being idiots or whatever, you really have sucked ass. Boy, have I turned on this guy. I thought Xavier Woods was great, and he still is kind of great, and he's obviously a smart guy in real life. I unsubscribed from his stupid YouTube channel, up, down, down, after his dumb comments about fans, because it's like, dude, now the WWE is even doing something, and you tried to sit there and just say everybody was an entitled infant. And it's like, I get what you're saying if you're saying, like, hey, some fans are kind of like entitled infants. That's like kind of like it's crazy. It's like, I understand that, like, things aren't always the best, and we want to be better, but there's a few people that I just don't think you'll ever please. But then there's a lot of other people with good ideas, but he doesn't take that route. He just says, he's sick of the entitled fans out there. And it's like, well, I'm sick of watching a show that sucks a big fucking dick. How about that? How about I'm sick? How about your show sucks and everything you've done is embarrassing? How about that, Xavier, dumbass? So every time Xavier Woods talks now, I just fucking hate on him.
He has a very elitist, cynical way of acting too on his channel, if you noticed at times. Not all the time, but every now and again, anything that I've seen, pop up, because I'm not subscribed to him, but I get recommendations. Like, they recently did some type of axe throwing competition, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's just me looking too far into things, but he seems very elitist at times. So
really,
yeah, little his shit don't stink kind of attitude.
Maybe he does. I mean, I always thought he was cool, but now I'm wondering if there's something weird about him. And then the whole he wants to eat Paige's pussy out and everything. I don't know.
He seemed very pissy that he lost to Cesaro in the competition that they had, and like it was more than just like kind of make it funny. Oh no, I lost kind of thing. It seemed like it was a ego hit.
That's weird. I mean, I don't know. I thought he was cool. It was a long time I liked the guy, and he is right a little bit about some fans that are ridiculous. Some fans you'll never please, and some fans are assholes. But
that's more than just wrestling. That's fandom in general.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you got to be ready for this. You fuck. It's social. Like you're gonna see everything. All that matters are how many people are showing up, what do the ratings look like, and what are the reviews. Yeah. That isn't that what matters. The fan happiness. Like, so if you turn and you see the big giant gapes of nobody there, and then you see the ratings are coming down, you see the attendance is coming down, and you see anger all over the place online, aren't you going to put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh shit, something is going on? You're not going to, if the numbers are going up or staying steady, either way, if the numbers are staying steady, like when I'm having a good show here on the Joe Cronin Show and we're doing shows and whatever's going well, and somebody's like, oh, I don't like that, I just kind of go, fuck off, I don't care. But if I'm doing something and it's not working out right, and things aren't going so well, and then people are saying stuff, I start thinking, I got to do something, or I got to change something, or we got to, come up with something different, because the criticism is being backed by the numbers, and I can see it. So like it's like, but I don't get his logic with, let me attack fans now all of a sudden. When fans are at their most like angry and bored and down that the fans have ever been at, he decides to attack fans instead of saying, you know, I wish there was something better for us to do. And maybe part of that is because the New Day is pretty good, you know, decent. You know, you may be an older guy sick of the New Day. I know there's a lot of guys out there like, oh, the new fags and whatever, they don't like them. But
they are. They're entertaining. They have a lot of charisma. It's just the way they're being showcased and handled is...
Well, and they're one of the better things. Like, they're one of the sort of better things, even if they're not that good, right? Like, everything else is so bad that sometimes the New Day is a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, and you know how well they can perform in the ring, and they can have great promos. You know, they could be so much better, too. I think that's kind of the hope that people hold on to as well.
Right. Yeah.
But like you said, you hit the nail on the head in the sense that it's not just an outspoken opinion. It's backed by numbers, facts, you know, raw data that says the product is not up to snuff. It's not where it should be. It's not where it could be. You have millions of people not tuning in every week, and it's dropping by the thousands, you know, week in and week out. That's a hard factual data that we have, you know, reports to prove. So it's not, you know, when we're saying that you're failing, you're not, you know, at the level that you should be. These things are proven.
Yeah.
You know, how many times have they beaten their own record this year for the lowest rated Raw of all time? 4 times, 5 times now?
I think it's 4, but I forget. You shouldn't
be topping yourself over and over, but it keeps happening.
Yeah, I mean, you are sliding downward. You need to do something until the slide stops happening. And then one of those things is going to be creating new fans now. They legitimately have to look at that. They really have to look at that and say, dude, we not only have to keep the audience we have right now, but we have to create new fans. And what has created new fans in the past? Hulk Hogan and the MTV Rock and Wrestling connection thing, WrestleMania being created, and then Hulk Hogan being a megastar in the WWE. Those things created fans. After that, you lost fans. Every time you lost. During Bret Hart's run, you lost fans. You lost fans in 94, 3, 5, 6 that bled and bled and bled and bled. What created fans? Really, essentially, the Attitude Era, but mainly Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You can even say Hulk Hogan's heel turn brought in a good amount of fans.
Yeah, and then Hogan's heel turn in WCW. Because, first Hogan brought in fans anyway, right, by going to WCW. And then Hall and Nash going there brought in some fans. And then Hogan certainly going heel, then really brought the NWO, then brought the eyes and brought in a lot of fans. And so you're right. So first it was that. And then WWE capitalized by having Austin and the Attitude Era blow up. And then some of those WCW fans jumped over to WWF. But the crazy thing about that is, like I said this a million times, kids that used to want to, like, I'd be in school and I'd say, hey, did you guys see the Shawn Michaels match last night? And people would be like, who the hell is Shawn Michaels? What are you talking about? And I'd be like, WWE, WWF, wrestling. They'd be like, wrestling? That fake stuff? We don't watch that. Or like, what's that? I don't get it.
How could you like that? It's fake. Don't you know it's fake?
One kid one day was like, oh yeah, I saw that. And I was like, oh my God, a wrestling fan. So like we're talking about middle school in 6th grade. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about with wrestling. And fast forward to 8th grade.
Yeah, 2 years goes by.
Or even 7th grade. I think everyone's becoming a fan. And they're fans of, guess this, WCW. The fucking kids in my school, most of them were fans of WCW. And I was like, wait a minute, you guys finally like wrestling and you're watching WCW? I don't even really watch that show. And they're like all into the NWO and they're doing the NWO stuff. And I'm like, damn.
Here you are, suck it.
And then I watched, no, that hadn't happened yet. But then I watched as they started watching a little bit of WWF, a little bit. And then Stone Cold started really getting hot. And then they definitely started watching. And so, dude, I got a first-hand, at my age, experience of watching the kids in my high school. And I'm saying it went from 3% of that middle school, and not high school, middle school, it went from 3% of that middle school to knowing what wrestling was to probably 90% of them knowing. And WCW was the main reason. And then most of them flipped over to WWF. So if WCW had never done that, WWE may have never created new fans back then. However, the Attitude Era was starting, so they probably would have, but they got to take even more in from the WCW crowd. So it's really like I watched that happen. And then when WCW died, you know, those people were WWF fans for a little while, but then they faded away because those guys weren't really hardcore, long-time wrestling fans. They were kids who got sucked into the whole gang warfare of the NWO and, wow, Stone Cold's really cool, and DX and Suck It, wow. And then as soon as that stuff started fading away, even when Guerrero and Benoit and stuff were killing it, a lot of those people tuned out because they had seen the act that they wanted to see. They were casuals, really, and we didn't know it. They were kind of like short-term casuals who watched. And people like Leah and other people who weren't really wrestling fans that much, but they couldn't help but escape it because people were watching it, and she knows all about it. You know, Leah knows all about Stone Cold in that time and all those things that happened. But she doesn't know that much about before that, and she doesn't know a whole lot more after that, except for living with me since 2007. So that shows you are in for a very tough feat to create a new wrestling crowd. And I'll stop rambling now. I just fucking went off.
It's a great point. I mean, I'm honestly baffled and unsure what they could do outright to really go ahead and, you know, come up with some you know, new eyes for the product at this point in time. They need to build new stars. They need new writers. You know, there's a bunch of you know, basic choices, but specifically, like, you know, to say do this, I really couldn't tell you at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
we could say change commentary, you know, write better stories, build new talent, you know, focus on feuds more so, get rid of 50-50 booking, get rid of the brand split, you know, things like, but specifically to say, all right, have Charlotte and Becky, you know, do the, I don't know what they could do right at this moment.
Right.
There's a lot of long-term things that need to happen, but
I think that there's a lot of things that they got to do, and that's the problem. But we got main things that they need to do. Sorry, I'm dying. When we get done with this live review, me and Leah are going to be recording our podcast and putting it right up right tonight on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show on my Patreon, guys. So make sure you look for that. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe down below right now. Hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on the daily wrestling videos and the wrestling talk here. We've been doing it 6 years. Don't miss out on it. And let me get the, I got the alerts up there. Hopefully the subscriber alerts are popping up for everybody. Where are we at? So let's like rewind. Okay, in the New Day, they did the whatever, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy.
That should have been a spot for either Samoa Joe or Jeff Hardy to come out and you know, have their chance to build up, you know, the match that was coming.
All right.
You didn't need the New Day there to hype the crowd. Do that since it's a tape show. Do that before, you know, SmackDown starts.
Well, honestly, dude, I don't think it. I think it's part of the show. They wanted not just to hype the crowd, but I think that they figured that's what they wanted to book there. They didn't have other time for other. Even if there'd been something else that happened, I think they still would have brought the New Day out, even for like 5 seconds to do that, like no matter what. So you could argue about how long it was, I guess, right? Because how long was it? Like 10 minutes, 12 minutes?
Around that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
It overstayed its welcome, and I mean that's Vince's humor. You said earlier, you know, that he finally got somebody to wear the diaper. He loves those kind of, you know, silly, embarrass people moments. So, I mean, Big E did it in stride, but still, that's the kind of stuff that Vince enjoys. That and fart jokes.
I'd be thinking of fast pace now. You know, I would have thought more like it seems like a lot of the crowd, even myself and you and everybody, we kind of enjoy fast pace. Now, that doesn't mean cut 7 different camera angles during the wrestling match and fuck up the wrestling match for us. But what I mean is have the New Day come to the ring, get in the ring, start talking to the crowd, and then come start filming. And now we got the New Day saying, Happy New Year, blah, blah, blah. And Big E's taking pancakes out of his thing and throwing them to people. And they say a couple of things they wanted to say. It's 4 minutes.
Here's our resolutions. We're going to stop eating pancakes.
Right.
Oh, wait, no, we're not. 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Happy New Year. And then Corey Graves comes in with like, did he just take pancakes out of his crotch and throw it to the crowd? I don't know, but anyway, here comes Samoa Joe, you know. So now, you know, here we're getting down to business here because Samoa Joe's whatever the hell, I don't know. I don't remember what happened, but I mean, do something like that. And now you got things like moving. And instead,
if it's not like thoroughly engaging, then they need to go ahead and just move along. That's
Right.
the problem. People lose interest. Once you lose that focus, what happens? They put their phones in their hand. They change the channel.
Yep.
You know, you've lost them. So
That's
you need
also
to
a
keep
way
it-
to combat the the stale product. Like when you're doing
Yes.
a PG show and you can't quite do the Attitude Era stuff. Oh, you can't even come near it. But you know, if even if you change things and make the scripts better, or throw some of the scripts out and let the wrestlers go off the cuff or whatever, and you get a little bit more entertaining that way, fine. But also use ways to cut to be more exciting than here we are, and not have the New Day come down from the beginning like they always do and get to the ring and then get in the ring and they're being silly. And I know that that's the story you want to tell. I know that because they're so entertaining, that just the gyrations of Big E coming down and shaking in the crowd and stuff, and you want to get all that stuff. But it's like the same thing. We've seen it 1,000 times. So give the crowd that there live to hype them up, but give the people on TV the end of the promo. And then cut to something else. And you're like, okay, got the New Day, now we got this. But instead, it's just fucking, we're watching the same thing again. I'm Ran Abasi. Thanks for subbing to the channel. Hope I didn't just destroy your name. But thank you for subbing to the channel very much.
Even if they had the best writers in the entire world, I mean, look at something like Lord of the Rings. You know, there's definitely scenes from those movies where you're like, oh my god, you know, some of you know the the best literature told in you know history, and you're still like, oh, the movies, my god, there's parts that drag on. You know, you're there for 3.5 hours. It's just part of the culture today. People want things, you know, quick results, and it usually makes for the best. And I'm not saying everything needs to be super fast paced, but you should be able to predict and see where it would be necessary. So this match I enjoyed. It wasn't amazing by any means, but it definitely, you know, was serviceable from both men. The only thing that I thought was really weird is, maybe I'm wrong here, but the ref restarted the count when Samoa Joe rolled into the ring.
What was that? Yeah.
I thought that wasn't supposed to happen, but maybe I
The
missed
announcer
something.
said it. The announcer said it. It was either Corey or somebody. I'm glad they said it because I was saying it. I said, the whole point is you wait and then you roll in and then the other guy gets counted out. Like
Yeah,
9,
so-
you roll in 10, other guys counted out. But like I guess they sort of tried to play it off that Samoa Joe broke the count or something, but I don't know why.
Definitely you know, botch from the ref there. But the thing is I think that was supposed to be the ending to the match initially.
It might have been, yeah, because it did look like the referee was like, "Oh shit," he like stopped the count and then.
Because it was on after that, because then Jeff just came back in to get choked out again.
Right.
So I think he was supposed to not answer the count after the Coquina clutch happened. So.
I agree. It was very weird. And yeah, it seemed like the referee screwed that up. And the only thing I can think is they did a good job because it looked good still. That's why they still used it, and it still looked good because. You know, Jeff was choked out outside. There's nothing the referee could do if he tapped out or not. Then he comes in, but he's dead, and then Samoa Joe puts him in the hold again. Now, if they meant to do it that way, then good on them making Samoa Joe look great. But if they were trying to kind of protect Jeff Hardy a little bit and also let Samoa Joe go over, then that kind of hurt Jeff a little bit by him having to come in and now get choked out again. You know, luckily, if they did botch that, Jeff Hardy's the type of guy that's not going to be mad about that. Like in the back, he'll be like, whatever, man, it all went the same, blah, blah, blah. But like somebody else would be like, you fucking idiot. Like they'd be pissed that they got.
Yeah, I picture a Dolph Ziggler being very irate about something like that.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah, maybe. He might be.
I've heard a few stories before, but granted, yeah, not the worst outcome. It certainly didn't seem like it was the planned one.
I heard a few stories before.
I heard a few stories,
Jesus. No, you didn't. I'm just kidding. No.
When Connor and I covered Dolph for
That's right.
his retrospective, we uncovered a few truths, and it was pretty
dove into the.
see.
Well, you can find some shoot interviews on people about him actually that do kind of clarify that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Not that he get mad there, but you never know.
No, but but yeah, like you said, I don't think it really hurt either man. And they're ring generals. They're very experienced, and they're able to recover from a plethora of botches. So it worked out well.
Let's see if we can get him on the line now.
Interviews on people about him actually that
Luke
do kind of clarify.
Rojas.
What's up, Joe? Do I sound better on this phone?
Oh yeah, you sound better, dude.
Yeah, I'm using a different one. What's up? How you doing? How's everything going on with this new year that is bestowed upon us?
Oh, man.
Piece of shit SmackDown. Nah, just kidding. SmackDown wasn't as bad as it was last week, but
Yeah, it was better, but it was still blah to me. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I thought everything with Becky. I know that everybody's like a lot of people, because I knew that she had a tag match with John because like they had they already recorded stuff like from the audience. But I thought everything she did was really cringy. Like I don't know, I thought her like threatening John Cena, like Brie Bella won't be the only woman to drop your ass this year, and I'm just like, dude, you look like compared to John Cena, you look like you couldn't even beat up a sandwich. So it's like it doesn't really make. She came off really cringy and like she was trying too hard to act like a badass.
Yeah,
see, I disagree entirely. I thought that was exactly it. Like she's not, even if she knows she's going to lose, she's just not going to back down from a challenge. She'll go down swinging. That was kind of the attitude I took from her.
I get that. That's what they're trying to portray. I go back and forth on Becky. I'm with Luke a little bit on this, a bit. Like, it kind of worked for me, and it was kind of funny to see it, and I liked it kind of. But there's always that little part of me that doesn't 100% believe her yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's almost there, but...
Yeah, she sounds almost like she's afraid to say it. Like she sort of stutters with the way she says it, and that might be just because, because Becky... It hasn't been, like, this long since Becky's turned heel, and so she may still be used to like getting better at her promos or like adjusting them. But she's still, every time she talks, she does sound a little like off. Like
I think that's her accent personally. That kind of she like does space her words out a bit at times. So I've personally taken it as her like. At once I was like, oh, maybe she forgot she was going to say, but I think she kind of slows down her speaking so people can understand her.
It's not that, though. It's not that. It's her intensity. Sometimes I think her intensity needs to be brought up. Like, I'm going to slap the fucking face off your goddamn head. Like, that's what I want to hear. Like, you need to go off. Yeah, you can't just be like, she's kind of like standing back and doing all this goofy stuff, but I want to see her really like get ferocious, and if she could get ferocious... a little more ferocious, it would help me out. I liked it, and I like her, and I'm, cheering for her, and I would say she's like one of the number one things going right now. But just she needs to make sure really bring that intensity and confidence, because she's better than most other people right now, for sure. But just a little bit more, and I'd be really sold on her.
Yeah, I didn't think it was cringeworthy at all. I enjoyed everything. I liked the Nikki Bella line too, especially since it was, a callback to what John had said before.
Yeah,
about
I like that line. That line was good. That was a good line.
Yeah, I thought it was delivered well, and it was entertaining.
I mean, Becky Lynch is, I guess, like the big. I mean, yeah. Would you say she's the biggest superstar like right now in the because she did get a lot of attention after that whole Survivor Series thing, like when she had like blood coming out of her nose and shit. So she did get a lot of attention.
Looking at numbers,
you could say like
that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, she's topped most people's top lists for 2018 for a reason, I feel. I mean, she certainly, earned that spot in my eyes. And on top of it,
except for what culture, they have like Yoda Tarushi, some like person that you've never heard of who wrestled once in a bingo hall.
I mean, I thought you meant WWE only, though, too. I didn't know you meant everywhere.
Yeah, I was just going WWE, but...
Oh,
yeah,
it's
still...
Cool, just won number one. Like, you know who he is.
Hey, speaking of Yoda, did you see this... I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but it's really funny. I don't want to play it actually yet, because I don't think you guys can hear sounds right now. Can you hear this, Jake?
No, nothing yet.
Yeah, you can't hear that. Okay.
No.
Never mind.
That's
the New Day, I want them all to fucking die in an ambulance like crash. Some kind of fatal car accident. Just kills at least Xavier Woods. Like maybe decapitate him and he smug fucking dude, what if he got like brain damage and then like he lost all the things that he learned from getting his PhD, but he stayed the same? He's just a fucking dumb retard and he couldn't get his PhD because they had to take it away from him because he's so fucking
They had to take it away from him. Oh my God.
They said we don't let fucking retard fucking brain damaged vegetables like you have PhD, so they like take it away from him, and he's like freaking out like, because he's disabled because he hit his head so hard.
Oh my
in the car
god, dude, what the fuck?
I would just say that he gets the trombone shoved down his throat so that he can't speak. He basically turns into a human squeak toy. Every time he opens his mouth, it's just a trombone that like that's it. That's all he can do. So
oh my god, what the?
I think that's a better outcome.
What the fucking Luke? Luke Rojas. Thank you for the call, Luke. Appreciate that.
That's some virgin anger there. I'm telling you, Luke.
That's virgin anger, yeah. Yeah, he buried
pent up sexual frustration.
He buried Xavier Woods. God damn. Anyway, let's continue on. Where the fucking donations on? Are they quiet? You guys out of money? You guys out of money for the new year? What the fuck's going on? I usually no, dead seriously. I usually have to like pause them and like worry about like what's going on. Like tonight, it's fucking. But you know what it is? People are like, I'm out of money, and I'm drunk.
I'm hungover to shit,
and I'm just gonna watch this idiot talk about wrestling. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But no, it's thank you guys. I'm just joking around. But I thought they really weren't working for a little while. They are on though, so I swear to God, people out there. Some people are asking, in the fucking comments. Somebody just texted me, are they on? Like, well yeah. Do you want?
It's too quiet.
Do you want to give?
I thought I talked through one of them. So.
Well, what's funny is like those people are actually asking because they're looking for them, but they can't donate themselves, but they're looking for them, and I'm like, well, then you can go ahead and do it. Then why don't you do it? Why don't you find out
the action without the payment?
Why don't you find out if they're on, motherfucker? Find out if they on. Find out if they on. I'm gonna break a switch off and smack your ass, motherfucker. I'm sorry, I just lost my mind. So where were we? So New Day happened. Okay, Rusev. We talked about Hardy and Samoa Joe pretty much. We got that all the way.
Then we had Vince and Shane in the back, and they're talking about all 5 participants that are going to be in this Fatal 5-Way. And it was so arbitrary the way these guys got to enter. So
I would have done this better. Like they should have had Shane immediately. Shane should have gotten out of his chair. The second AJ came in the room, Shane should have got out of his chair, and then Vince should have been like, "Whoa, settle down, Shane. Don't do anything, Shane." That type of thing. Like don't do anything, Shane.
Before, especially with the history they have of facing each other for so long in that feud at WrestleMania. And come on.
And then Vince could have said, "I want this, Shane." And then right as he said, I want this, AJ should have shoved the shit out of Shane. Shoved him. And then Shane
pushed him over the chair.
Fucking, I don't even think over the chair even, but he just hits the chair back. He gets right back down onto his ass. And then AJ says, yeah, sit down, Shane, or whatever the fuck. And then he goes, I don't even know if you want me here right now because blah, blah, blah. And then he can go into whatever they really did was fine.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing, that whole...
But just having Shane sit there like a bitch, I thought was kind of like weird. I don't know. I just like, this is a stupid...
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
That's how Shane ends it. Come on.
I don't know.
Be careful what you wish for. So AJ won. What are you telling your father that for? When you come, it just... I don't know. So it could be done so much better. It basically writes itself, especially knowing, like I said, these two have history.
Yeah.
He just hit your father. There should be some more bad blood here.
Well, I think Shane should have said to Vince, I think Shane should have also said to Vince, like, Dad, like, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, think of all the times behind the camera, behind the scenes, that you've sat with somebody and just pushed them over the edge creatively, and that you have a lot of people don't even understand what you've sometimes been responsible for drudging up or whatever in the back here.
You've meddled to no one before.
Yeah, and then like, wow, what a crazy like sort of like cool thing to say. Like Vince does this a lot, and like there's been other guys who you're like, why did this guy do this and snap, and why did this happen? And it's like they're bringing that up again, that like, you're so meddlesome and you really, you can manipulate people and that type of thing. I don't know, maybe they don't want to go that route, but there was just a boring sort of like backstage like, and then I started thinking, oh no, they're not gonna do this. They're going to just forget about this in a week or two. It's just going to be, that's it. Vince wanted the animal or whatever he said, and then that's all that happens. Are you kidding me?
he's got him pumped up so he can win the Fatal 5-Way and lose to Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, right.
It's so next up we have Rusev comes out. He tried to start a Rusev Day chant, Rusev Day USA, which it's funny from the Bulgarian, having the USA chant, but it harkens back to like a Sergeant Slaughter feel. But go ahead, and Nakamura shows up and he kicks Rusev. Lana goes right into ass kicking mode, jumps on the back of Nakamura, starts trying to choke him. Rusev gets up and kicks him, and it was a very awkward landing. I know what they were going for. I don't think it came across great on TV, but Nakamura fell on top of Lana, and Rusev, as he goes to check on his wife, gets the Kinshasa from Nakamura, and that's it. So now we're going to see these two face each other again. Part of the issue I have here is that for weeks now, since 2 weeks now, they've made sure to say that there are no more mandated and automatic rematches for any championship title.
Right.
But just because Nakamura attacks, now he's going to get a rematch. It's kind of it's a bit odd. I know what they're going for, but
they should have just said rematches can happen, but they're not guaranteed. That's all they needed to say. Was it?
That's it. But to say that there's no more automatic rematch clause, then do it this way.
They just put it they put it over too much. Like and then you're like, oh, there's no more rematches. Like
Fuck yeah, I got everyone's addresses, Mom.
Here it is.
Super chat.
Fucking addresses, Mom.
They do work.
No way Becky Lynch is the hottest act in WWE. She's not more over than AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan. She's just the flavor of the month.
God Phoenix, thank you for the $5 super chat. I think she's more over than Daniel, I think, right now. In a way. I mean AJ Styles has done more, and she's not on AJ Styles level to me. But yeah, right now, the question was, right now, who's the hottest thing going right now? I mean, I think right now it's Becky has the most interest right now.
Yeah, she certainly. I think AJ had probably the better year overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make a certain claim to that, but she's fresh in everyone's mind for a reason.
Nobody's really over right now. I mean, Ronda is too. People cheer for Ronda right now. Ronda and Becky are like the two most cheered for people, and then probably AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. And
I would agree with that. You can even say Braun to a certain extent.
I'm bored by everything, so I don't know what to tell you.
That's the thing. I mean, there's no one above all. I mean, Becky certainly stands out among all the women, but not by a mile. It's just she's a little bit ahead to me at this point in time, and Ronda's really close, and Charlotte's never far behind. So,
yeah, I mean, also
it's just that those three are ahead of most of the rest of the pack, and I think that's another problem. But that's an issue that they create for themselves often. I mean, they did it with Roman and so many others, so that when Roman was gone, to deal with everything he's dealing with at this point in time, that vacuum occurs, and the powers that be basically show you, oh crap, now we have to hurry up and build somebody else up quick, and then Braun gets hurt, and Seth doesn't quite feel like the top guy anymore with the way that they've booked and handled him. So when you look to Raw, you're like, oh, who's the top person? It's like, it doesn't really feel as
I think that's part of it.
Big as it could.
The women have been booked a little bit better to me. Is I think part of it.
I had some tech issues. I was trying to put out a video of like my favorites of the year, but favorite like pay-per-view all in all, special, whatever you want to call it, was Evolution. All of 2018. That was my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. It was the top top three at least.
Volumes. Yeah. I love that comparatively. If you look at a show from start to finish, I mean, I'm not counting NXT because that's unfair, but main roster. I absolutely loved Evolution from start to finish. I was thoroughly entertained. Everything was very solid, well thought out, put together, and fun. Most of all, it was fun to watch. I felt like the legends that they used, didn't interfere with the storylines of, people that were up and coming. Like you saw Trish and Lena, that happened first thing. They didn't take the main event away from anybody. They didn't, I felt like Ronda got put over by the Bellas. Everything served a purpose. It was just a good night all in all. So, that speaks volumes comparing it to SummerSlam, Mania, Survivor Series, all of it.
God also said he thinks it's a lot of people that are in love with Becky chanting for her. I mean, I think that is true that there's a lot of guys out there like, I love Becky. And it's like, why? I don't get it. But I do get that the women have been booked better, and that's why there's a hype behind them. So I understand that. But even from the beginning, I've known a lot of guys that were like, I love Becky. And I'm like, I like Sasha, to be honest. And I even like Bayley better. And then Becky the third or fourth after and Charlotte, too, before Becky. That's my order used to be that. It used to be Sasha, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky. And now the order, though, when you ask a lot of those people is Becky, Ronda, Charlotte, and then Sasha Bayley. It's kind of crazy how things flip.
Sasha and Bayley aren't even being used and utilized whatsoever, and you have to kind of say those three because those are the only ones really getting any matches or attention.
Yeah, and that's the way.
Even Charlotte had her nipples out tonight trying to.
Yeah, I like to see
more
those
eyes on her product. Blouse that she was wearing, I don't think they realized it, but with the studio lights, you could see through her shirt entirely. Really? It's very noticeable. Oh, here, I'll send you the picture. It's on Instagram.
It was on TV.
Put it up before. When you're watching on TV, they went ahead and I was like, "Yep, those are her nipples." I did not seeing things.
That's awesome.
So, it was freaking hilarious. I'm surprised you of all people didn't pick up on it sooner.
Wish I did. I'm not a fucking detail, I'm not a goddamn sex fiend, Jake.
You just have a good eye for detail. That's what it is.
I'm in a New Year's coma, dude. I don't know what's going on. I don't see shit.
Yeah. Too much, too much eggnog.
Naomi and Sonya Deville, man, just a garbage waste of my time, but executed okay, I guess.
That's what it was. It was it's funny because, her sending a picture of her in her towel, she wears less to go to the ring and wrestle. That towel covered her up more than what she wears on her way to the ring. She posts, almost nude photos on Instagram and Twitter, and you're going to complain about a towel photo. But still, you don't want anybody sending something to your husband or significant other. I get that. And they're going with the, attempted cheating angle. But it's working, and anytime you get to see Naomi lose, I'm happy with. So it was a short match, but it didn't overstay its welcome. They went out there. They had to, they got done what they needed to. My biggest problem with the angle, yet again, commentary. It's just laid on so thick about she's so beautiful and so perfect, and I need a mile of her shit just to see where it came from. Those kind of remarks that you hear, it's ridiculous, and it really just does not need to be that, intense. So.
Yeah, it's a very the commentary is just so bad. It's worse on Raw. Corey's had a few good lines sometimes, but then he's sometimes it's just full.
He sounds like a stalker psychopath combined. Like it's nauseating. Everything about Mandy, and it's like I understand that you're trying to get over like, oh, she's the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth, but like he just kills it. It's too much. And, it's distracting. That's what it is more than anything.
I thought the tagging of Cena and Becky together was all right. So I thought it was okay. I thought the match was all right too, and it kind of made sense. So it was okay.
I liked it. They're two of the tops of the show. I like seeing Cena come back. Like I said, when it's not at the expense of anyone else. I thought it was fun. You heard him talk very candidly. Broke the fourth wall. He shit on himself a bit. Self-deprecation humor is something I always enjoy. Saying that he's somebody always comes out and challenges him and tells him he should get a haircut and he'll be dropped faster than Nikki dropped him, and it was a good few lines. I liked what Becky had to say. Her retort was funny, and I like that they also worked with Almas and Vega. So
yeah,
Vega sounded great on the mic. She's saying your face was broken, didn't really heal up. It looked a little rough, things like that. So that was funny. It was a good match, though. I liked it.
One thing I will say is, and this is not to be negative with the women or anything like that, but I will just say to you, you are probably not going to grow your audience at this point with Becky as the star of the company and Ronda even Ronda Rousey as the star of the company, you just won't do it at this point. It looks like it's silence falls from the outside people from Ronda. All the UFC people, they don't even know Ronda's here. I've talked to so many people, and I'm like, well, Ronda's in the WWE, and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot she's in the WWE or whatever. And I'm like, well, she's the champion or whatever. And they're like, she is? Oh, I didn't. Like, they don't know. These people don't even know. You're not going to grow the company right now with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. It's the same way as you won't grow it. You pretty much can't grow it with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Hey, guys, it's me, Seth. It's Monday Night Rollins. Like, this guy has the voice of a foot's taking a shit.
I think they could have done it with Roman had he been handled differently.
If he was heel, I thought they could have done it with Roman. That was about it. I don't know if they could have done it with him as a face. He again, fucking y'all tater tots.
Well, that's the thing. You know, his promo style and delivery. If he was trained and tailored, I think a bit differently. I think it. You know, and that's to say with everything. Oh, if it was different, but I really think he has potential. It was just the way that he was directed and trained and what he was given to say.
Right. Well, we're at the end here. Why don't you...
Matt the Misfit made me laugh, too, because he pointed out and sent me some of the tweets. Becky was live tweeting from the backstage, even though it was taped.
Yeah.
So she's like, tune in tonight because I might have something to say to someone about something. I don't know who because it hasn't happened yet. And then she's like, I'm live tweeting from backstage right now. I just high-fived Jeff Hardy. You know, stuff like that. She's like, I'm off the stretch now. Everyone's backstage because that's where I am. Like, she just continued to so that's the thing that people like. You know, she's obviously, you know, it's taped, but she's having fun with it. It's entertaining. So it's one more notch on her belt. Plus, I liked in the match too with her not backing down with Almas when he got in the ring, and you know they made sure that she had to go and tag in CEna, but she wanted to stay and fight. I thought that was another good thing to her character.
Well, I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Yeah, so I mean, all in all, I really, you know, I did enjoy that segment, and like I said with CEna, it is it's funny to want to see him come back, but I didn't like it. Next up, you know, we saw Shane backstage talking to The Miz, and I don't want to see these two as a tag team. I have no interest in this. Miz as a face doesn't work for me. There's a few times here and there where, you know, you'll see something funny, but all in all, it's just, it doesn't fit. It's you know, it's not working creatively, and them showing off the ring gear and all the mock-ups that they had and different outfits, I thought it was just a you know, attempt at a silly joke that went on too long, and you know, they reached too far. You know, it's not great, unfortunately. Even with the line of, oh, is that Goldberg's body? You know, no, your body's better. It just, the retort between the two, they don't really have a lot of chemistry, I feel. It just didn't work. Next up, we get Asuka backstage, and she's talking to Triple H. And here's the problem with Asuka. She's yelling yet again. I don't know if that's just how they make her talk or how they want her to be, but you figure when she's talking, she's still in that, you know, promo vibe. But no one's ready for Asuka. And it's like, all right, bring it down a little bit at this point. You're just talking to Triple H. And even he was kind of like, he looked uncomfortable in a way. He was like, I like what you're doing, or, you know, that's great, kid kind of idea. But here's where Charlotte shows up, and I had brought this up, I think, about 3 weeks ago. I said, look at this. They're dressing her in all black, and it wasn't just a one-off, it seems. They really wanted to kind of rub off a little bit on what Becky's doing. They wanted her to look a little more badass. So now suddenly Charlotte has to try and have more of a badass look herself and stray from her character. Yes, usually she wears a wide array of clothing, but I said, you know, if this isn't a one-off and they start to do it continually, that was my worry. And sure enough, yet again, with the black, you know, the dark lipstick, you know, they want her to be more brooding and you know, more of that metal chick badass look. And they're you know, kind of hearkening onto, you know, hopping on Becky's coattails there with that in my eyes. But Carmella shows up saying how she beat not only Charlotte, but she also beat Asuka as well. So she beat them both, and Charlotte says to take her dance break somewhere else. Becky shows up. She gives her, 2 cents onto why she should go ahead and be the next in line to face Asuka for the title. And this is where Triple H says that, I'll take it under advisement and we'll let you know once we make our decision. So the authority is going to handle it. But I thought we are the GMs now. The fans are supposed to be the one to make these decisions. So granted, everything we got here is it's odd. Why do one thing early on and make the fans feel like they're the ones pulling the strings? But then you set up this fatal 5-way. You're going to choose who faces who next, and you just go ahead and you end up getting piss poor decision making. It's bothersome in a way because no one wants to see the authority return. That's what we got. And yet again, it just leaves us in the air of what's to come next. Why are these decisions being made? I like it when things make sense. I like it when there's a story, rhyme, or reason to a decision being made. So if someone's going to go ahead and fight for the title, if you're not holding a tournament, or having a match for number 1 contendership, they just throw people together. It doesn't really work for me. I like it when you have, things in a set rhyme and reason. So it is unfortunate, but
you think they're just setting up, going back to your thing about The Miz and Shane, do you think they're just setting them up to have some kind of attack, like The Miz attacked Shane and it was all a plan all along and something or other? Or
at first I thought that, but I really don't think so. I think that they're going to do some type of thing with the tag team titles.
Really?
It screams WrestleMania to me for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
I could picture them going against the SmackDown tag champs at Mania and winning just for a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. They seem to want to gimmick out the tag belts. We had Al with the kid, the won the belt with Braun.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Like, what are they doing with these tag belts, man?
I really don't know. Who's the SmackDown tag champs at this time? Do you remember?
Nope.
It's the Bar. I had to look it up. I had to go back.
I forgot.
And it is you guys. I genuinely couldn't recall.
Get rid of the 2 belt. They need to have 1 tag team champion and 1 women's champion, and that's it. There's no room.
That's why I so badly want the brand split to be over with.
Yeah, just get this done. Be done with
I know they said, this way we can pay more attention to... You can still work it as a brand split and do things separately to a certain extent. But at least then you have a larger pool of wrestlers to choose from without having to say, well, they're on the other show. Well, why is it so hard? We have to wait for Becky and to win the Rumble to face Ronda because she's on Raw. Well, that shouldn't matter. If you're in the company, you should be able to face each other. Shouldn't have to have the perfect storm scenario for, 2 people, to face off. It's infuriating that there's some stupid reason keeping things from happening, but yet they'll find any justification to throw those rules out when it suits them and their purpose. Part of the reason, I think they got tired of hearing fans say, this one's owed their rematch and that one's owed their rematch. They heard about it forever with Finn Balor not getting his until they finally did it 2 years in the making, things like that. So, they get rid of the rematch clauses. They go ahead and, they change things on a whim when it works for them. But, they stick to other rules that are rather ridiculous. So,
I also want to...
It's just silly.
I just really quickly want to shout out Hector Gutierrez. Hector, thank you for becoming a patron, man. $5 patron a month, Hector Gutierrez. We have over 340 patrons or so right now. So thank you guys who signed up or... And I think Prayesh Muamdar, he went up from $2 to $5 on Patreon as well. So thank you to him. And thanks to everybody else who's jumping on Patreon and who's been upping their Patreons. And also on Patreon, we got the podcast with me and Leah coming. So that's going to be up there. So make sure you look for that in the $5 or up tier. And that's about it other than the main event, right?
Yeah, main event. And I liked it. It just felt rushed. It did feel very, thrown together quickly, but it was good for what it was. We knew AJ was going to win, kind of, was spelled out that way all night. The thing is, I'm not crazy about seeing AJ and Daniel Bryan face off against each other, but that's what we're getting for the Royal Rumble. So
I mean, how do we prove that? Because I see some people are saying that Becky's not the top act right now, whatever. And I mean, a lot of the people voiced their opinions about her that loved her, And that's forced WWE into like recognizing that and then using her more. And now they've even put her with John Cena tonight. I mean, how do we prove that even though everybody kind of sucks right now and nothing's really over at all, that Becky is still one of the more interesting things going right now? I mean, I don't know how to prove it.
It's hard to quantitate, but yeah, I mean, really, she was just a breath of fresh air. Essentially, she went ahead and she went against, the typical format of the show. That I feel like she showed that she had an issue by seeing certain people always be given opportunities time and time and time again. She made light of that, and she kind of voiced with how the fans genuinely felt as well. So they were able to side together. She was easy for people to get behind. She kind of had that underdog feel to her, and everyone loves an underdog. And from there, she backed up her voice with great in-ring ability and work ethic. So she had really, really good matches consistently. And then she progressively got better on the microphone. Her character changed and developed over time. She turned into more of this badass, and I feel that, people just gravitated towards that because it was something refreshing. It was a bit different. Most of the women kind of feel catty and selfish in a way, as where she felt more original. I know that kind of sounds silly in this sense, but she did. She was out, with a purpose, and she had a goal in mind, and she was going to do whatever she could to get there and achieve it. So,
I mean, I agree that I don't think that Becky Lynch is going to draw in ratings. Like, you could have her be the star. The ratings, I think, are still probably going to fall. I don't think it's going to save anything. But we're talking about, like, what's the better thing going on right now? Am I interested in...
I think she's going to keep fans watching that are already watching.
Yeah, that's what
she's
we're
a reason
saying.
to continue watching. She's not going to bring in new viewers and people on the outside in. Like they tried to do with Ronda. They tried to get people that loved her in the UFC and elsewhere.
Yeah,
Sports Illustrated, things like that. So Becky's going to continue to make that people that watch now continue to watch.
Dude, I agree that somebody said that. I've been saying this since the beginning. The people that were saying, "Oh, she's like Stone Cold," dude, that is retarded. Dude, the people that have said that Becky Lynch is like Steve Austin or whatever, it's retarded. Like, I'm sorry, she's not even close to anything like that at all.
Yeah, you said she's more like Bret Hart, and that made sense.
And she was more like Bret Hart when she's
in the beginning of it, yeah.
But like,
I understood some of the Stone Cold things because with her being like a brazen badass.
I don't mean she's as good though. I want to quickly say I don't mean as good. It's not the same level. It just it's a little bit of that spoiled, angry Bret Hart stuff. But nowhere, she's not a Bret Hart or a Stone Cold. No, like not at all. Or I'd be jerking
just
off.
reminiscent. I think it was because she had that brazen, badass charisma that we hadn't seen from anybody, especially in the women's division.
Yeah.
That as soon as somebody is outspoken against authority, trying to dispel the chosen one. Charlotte was the chosen one. She was getting every opportunity handed to her over and over again.
That's why she was like Brett, because she was coming in like, "Hey, it was my chance." Fuck you.
Exactly. So anti-authority that once people see that, immediately they hearken back in their mind to, oh, well, who was the one that was anti-authority the most? Stone Cold. And that's why I could see why some of those comparisons are being made. It made sense in that regard, but not to the effect that everybody else blew it up to be. But then you also get Becky giving Charlotte the stunner at house shows and stuff like that. So just to add insult.
But
to
again,
injury.
you become another parody. It's like you again are parodying the old stuff that used to happen. That's why stuff sucks, because nobody is setting their own trends. Nobody is blazing their own path right now. Nobody is doing that. It always ends up becoming, hey, I'm kind of like that other guy you knew. Or, hey, I grew up watching Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan or somebody. Or, hey, I love Eddie Guerrero or whatever. It never is like, I'm me. Check this shit out. It's never that. It always ends up being hijacked by nostalgia of something else or, whatever the case is. Now, I'm looking at Twitter. I just put this poll up. It's very new. There's only 30 votes. But even with 30 votes right now, Becky Lynch is destroying with popularity.
Yeah.
72% of the people on Twitter, and I know that this is all blurry and fucked up, but 72% of the people on Twitter, and I can't get my camera to focus. If I do this, I might. But you can see, that's Becky right there, 77%. That's the Twitter poll. That's the popularity that she has right now with people. Doesn't mean that she's going to save the company. Doesn't mean ratings are going to come in because of her, really. But she's not going to hurt the ratings like these other people have hurt the ratings, I don't believe. So complaining about Becky is stupid to me because there's so much other stuff that's a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10. If Becky Lynch is a 4 or 5 out of 10, why would I complain about the better thing going? I'm not. I'm going to leave her alone and go back to the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s or whatever and talk about those and leave her 5 out of 10 performance alone. Because those other ones are so much worse that I'm not really worried about Becky. But I'm also
I would say she's more than a 5 at this point, but I get your point.
I'd maybe give her a 6. I'd give her a 6
I would
out
say
of 10.
she's, at least a 6 for most of it, if not a 7 for some of her things.
Maybe. I'm not. I like her. I'm excited when she comes out for the most part, but then there's a part of me
I want to hear what she has to say. Yeah, that's it. I'm curious what she's going to say next. That's a good thing because there's not many people you want to see what they have to say. I'm curious where they're going with her. Originally there was a match made for her to face Asuka at the Rumble. They canned that and blamed something on Paige, I believe, was said for a little bit. So that was odd, but I don't quite like the idea that, like I said earlier, oh, well, now we're just going to let the authority's going to decide, oh, I'm going to mull it over and I'll take it under advisement and I'll let you know once a decision's made.
Right.
But you can't say the fans are the GMs and then go ahead and pull this stuff. A lot of arbitrary, bullshit all in all with this, especially even the 5 people in the, Fatal 5-Way. So,
yeah,
same thing there. It's just we'll see what happens with it, but not a lot of great decisions so far.
Yeah, I mean, somebody in the chat just said stop comparing today to the Attitude Era. I don't know if he's talking about us or people in the chat. I hope he's talking about people in the chat because I'm not comparing it to the Attitude Era, you dumb fucking idiot. But what I will say is...
You were saying that it wasn't like...
Right. I think you might have been talking to the chat, not me. But what you could compare today to is NXT. Compare it to NXT. NXT is better. Even that stupid recorded show every week that I don't really like that much. NXT is better at building stories to the title matches or to the matches at the takeovers, and the takeovers are better. Everything NXT does is way better than Raw and way better than SmackDown. And if legitimately out there, if somebody doesn't watch NXT, especially TakeOver, if you don't watch NXT takeovers every couple months, but you watch the WWE main roster product and you complain about the main roster product, you may be fucking retarded. Like, you may have something wrong with you because NXT TakeOver is so fucking good and exciting and fun. And sometimes the stories are even pretty good leading up to the match. And you don't get that in WWE main roster. And NXT is PG for the most part. So there's your example. There's what does work. But again, it doesn't work because NXT isn't exactly selling out everything everywhere either. So even though we're all very happy about NXT and we don't like the main roster, how are you going to grow new fans? How are you going to get 2 to 3 million people watching NXT? Because right now, you got about 800,000 watching NXT. 800,000 people maybe watching NXT. Where's the rest? Where's the rest? How do you get new fans to watch NXT? And if you don't like NXT, you might be on drugs. Because this has been the craziest shit ever. Every single NXT takeover is a 7, 8, 9, or 10. If not an 8, 9, or 10. And it just is. I watch it and I'm like, damn, it's pretty damn good. At some point you say it's a 7, 8, 9, or 10. Every WWE pay-per-view is not that way. And Monday Night Raw and SmackDown are atrocious. So
and like you said too, and Astros Jay in the chat made a pretty decent point too. He said, it took Austin almost a whole year to become a household name and get over because they were still drawing low ratings against WCW. He says it wasn't until Mike Tyson got added in for WrestleMania that they really became that household name, especially Stone Cold, because they were building before then and they were starting to claim some of the ratings, but not as much with the Monday Night War. that's a great point. Think about it. How much things changed following that night with WrestleMania 14 and everything that transpired with Tyson turning on Michaels and siding with Austin, and that was a huge ratings draw. Had the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, because he was huge at that time. So they tried the whole celebrity route, and now it's kind of laughable. It doesn't work. Bringing in a big name celebrity, I don't even know who they could bring in that would make a difference, really. I don't even think it would work at this point in time. People really don't want to see that steroids. That's dead.
Steroids.
So.
You got steroids. I put the steroids in my veins. Put the steroids in my pain. Put the steroids in my brain. Then I fucking go insane. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal. I put the needle in my balls. Needle in my balls. Jinder Mahal.
Allegedly.
Jinder Mahal.
Allegedly.
Big as a motherfucking goddamn garbage truck.
I think that wrestlers not swearing keeps them from breaking through. Austin could swear in an average promo. Promos drag out till you get a Rollins building up to one swear like "let's fight you bitch" and we're supposed to act stunned like OMG he swore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Party.
Thank you, Deftones.
Until TV14 is back, WWE will continue to die.
See, again, I don't agree with this. Madam Max, thanks for the donation, and Deftones, thank you for the $19.99. Damn, that was a big drop there, dude. I don't agree because NXT does it. The people they're over with the crowd. I know that's a different crowd, but they're over with the crowd. And Hulk Hogan didn't swear to get popular. I mean, and even in WCW, they couldn't really swear in WCW. Right? I mean, you didn't see people going...
They didn't need to, no.
You didn't see people doing the finger and kiss my ass, you son of a bitch. Like, they didn't need to do that. They don't need to do that. They just need to write better and have a better story. This is the same thing when you see a G movie, like a kid's movie. When you see a kid's movie that's, like, goofy, as an adult, you really can't watch it. Like, I'm trying to compare like a Disney movie or something like that. Like some Disney movies are really good and some kids movies are really good. Like as an adult, I can watch kids movies and I'm like, that's awesome. But then a lot of kids stuff you put on, you're like, I can't deal with this. Like 80% of it, you probably think I can't deal with this. But when you get really good writing and a really good story and something that's really good, like WALL-E, right? Like my kids love the WALL-E movie. I love that movie. Like, it's not like most of the other Disney movies that's like, whatever. I even like Moana. I like the Moana movie. But there's some other Disney movies, and there's a lot of other cartoon movies that I watch, and I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I can't stand this stuff. So it doesn't need to have swears. That's not true. It doesn't have to have that. It just has to be good. Because it was PG, and it was, like, PG rated in the 80s and 90s. So that's the comparison. You don't need to have that. You just have to have better writing and better storytelling. And you don't have that. NXT doesn't have swearing every second. So I mean, yes, I want them to be TV-14. That would help them. Not only could they tell more stories, let the wrestlers go off the cuff more, they could also not insult the older fans as much, because mostly the audience look like they're 20 and 30-year-olds in the audience, mostly. And some of them who bring their families, those are the guys bringing their kids, like dads would bring their kids to a baseball game.
Super Chat Party.
I am not a fan of NXT but love WWF. WWE needs TV-14 combined with good storylines and characters. You can't have realistic storyline and feuds in PG.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't... I kind of get what you're saying, but again, like, I've seen PG wrestling work. But WWE right now, their version of PG wrestling is horrific.
Cartoonish. Yeah, I mean, you can have realistic and viable stories that, feel genuine in PG terms, but it just, they have to be smart about it. And that's the thing. They go to the well too often of things they've done 1,000 times, or everything feels cartoony and unrealistic, and that's just a sign of the writers, not so much the rating designation.
I would take 1995 and 1996 WWF over this. Like, that is messed up. I would take 1995 over this.
Yeah, that's bad.
I would rather have been at WrestleMania 11 than be at last year's WrestleMania. Last year's WrestleMania, to me, sucked.
Yeah, that was such a disappointment. I mean, when Ronda and Kurt are the best thing going.
I mean, dude, at least WrestleMania 11's ring sounded epic. Dude, I don't know what the fuck they did to the WrestleMania 11 ring. Like, I don't know if Kevin Dunn was missing that night. And, maybe he was. Because that night in Hartford, Connecticut, the audio problems all night long that they had. And they never had, I just said that like Yoda. And they, all night long, like the problem. They never usually have audio problems. They had audio problems all night at WrestleMania 11 in 95. And then the next thing you know, the ring has this sort of like loud ting noise to it. Like, it sounded awesome. That ring was great. The WrestleMania 12 ring kind of did too, but the WrestleMania 11 ring was really weird sounding. I don't know. It sounded awesome. If they made that ring sound like that nowadays, it'd be sick. Maybe they tried something new because the ratings were shit. I'm not sure.
Like Tracy said, yeah, the ring does sound like it's cardboard today.
The ring sounds like nothing.
Sounds like flat.
Even during the Attitude Era is when I said that. Even like when Austin was here in 1998, I said the ring sounds like shit. It sounds like fucking, like not even like that, just like poomp. It just sounds really shitty. And then you hear the WCW ring, and it was like, that thing sounded, it was crunching all the time, like that fucking ring was great. And the WWF ring is just so dead. And it's from all the padding.
They said at one point, and I had read that the reason they mic'd it less was because they didn't want their calls being picked up as much. But you still hear everything on the cameras, so it doesn't really matter.
That doesn't make sense, because you can get a microphone under there that's very that's so sensitive and low that it's gonna pick up the mat sound, and then you can turn that up in a way and manipulate it. Like, you don't need to have the microphone is not gonna pick up the calls. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
Like,
there's also different types of microphones for different types of sounds. So I mean,
yeah, I don't understand.
There's audio engineering that they could pull off some magic. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't understand. Enemy Gold, thank you for the $2, Enemy. I think it has to be $3 or above for it to play. But how many dead subs do you think WWE has? 38 million subs, and only 2 million people watching TV doesn't make sense. Enemy Gold, no, I don't think that. I would say
Super Chat.
Joe, I upgraded to a $10 tier on Patreon Fire.
Oh shit, Daniel Mrs. Thank you very much. Daniel Mrs. 10, thank you for upping your Patreon pledge. Let me go take a look at that. Yeah, I hope you guys check out Patreon. If you guys want to, not only can you keep my show on the air and keep me going with all the stuff we do, but when you go to Patreon, you get 30 hours of bonus content a week, including me and Justin Bailey's new show coming this coming week. Me and Justin Bailey's new show, plus Justin Bailey returns to Corrupted Podcast this Saturday night.
Oh shit!
So don't miss that. This Saturday night, he's back. Me, Ken, Justin Bailey, the Filthy Mouth Gamer, and Tommy NC. And I don't know how we're going to organize that right now, but we'll figure it out.
That's a full house.
I don't know yet if that's really going to be the case. So, but I do know Bailey's back, and I'm here, and Ken's here, and that is the crew is back. And me and Leah's podcast is up there in the $5 tier. And then plus you get my Morning Madness episodes that will be coming back starting the day after tomorrow, I believe. We'll be back on Patreon. So there'll be a whole bunch of content in audio form that you can download. Some stuff is on YouTube form, private links for that, my live private stuff, my polls, and then the podcast. About 30 hours of content a month if you're at least a $5 patron a month or more. You can also be a $1 patron a month if you want to try it. You'll probably stick around and maybe increase your pledge like a lot of other people have. Daniel, thank you for that. What the fuck was I saying before I just lost my mind there? What was I talking about?
At this point, I'm with you.
It was something. Hold on, let me go back and hear it. Let me see. Hold on.
And viable stories.
Audio problems all night long.
Oh, yeah,
the Ring.
Microphones for different. Oh, we were talking about the
mic in the Ring.
And audio engineering. That's right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just like that Ring sounded great back then, and the Ring now just sounds like a thud. But I know that part of it's I've used extra padding and stuff like that. But you know,
even with the extra padding, that's still the springs and whatnot underneath. You could make it, amplified, and it would sound so much better.
And I do also want to say, man, I wanted to tie that into Patreon with, all your support on Patreon and stuff like that. You guys are helping me, to get Bailey back, to get Ken on board, to get all these other people in that we've gotten in, to keep all the shows going, to have more co-hosts coming in, to have more shows going on. So definitely the support on Patreon and the live donations. Thank you guys for that, because that's allowed me to keep doing that and be able to make this show go. Without those, you'd be back down to just me and Jake, because Jake works for blowjobs.
That's right. I have to give blowjobs to work here. I don't get it, but
I heard that. I heard Jesse say that, so I'm just saying. It's true.
It is. No doubt
and
about it.
Yes, back to the question on the donator. WWE subs. That's what I wanted to remember to talk about. He said, "How many dead subs do you think WWE has?" Well, here's the algorithm. I'll tell you the math right now. Whatever somebody's channel has for subs, usually.
Shit bomb.
Oh, shit.
Joe, remember when Raw was held at the old Falcons football stadium just for a Monday night show? It would be sold out. That would never happen these days, and it's just a sad state of affairs these days.
Yeah, they pretty much wouldn't. It wouldn't be sold out. Hard hitting AZ. Thank you for the $5 and becoming a $5 shit bum. Yeah. So if somebody, thank you, hard hitting. Was it hard hitting Gas or hard hitting AZ Arizona? I assume maybe. If somebody has 100,000 subs, chances are that they've really only got about 5 to 30% active subs, right? So if you have 110,000 subs, you're probably going to get 20 to 35,000 views, or you're probably going to get 15,000 views from your audience, because it's usually 15. What I've understood, so 15% is 15,000 views. So, like my channel, I've got 61,000, right? Or like 60,000, something like that. I don't remember what it is. It's something like that. It's close. So, I would say that I have about 5,000 active listeners out of 60,000. And if you do the math on that, that's times 15%.
Almost 10%, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I have even less. My subs are even less active. I'm at about 5,000. So WWE is probably similar. Do you know how many subs they have, Jake? Well, they have 20-something million?
I'm trying to double check now. Yeah, it's I think around there. I think it's like 12 million. But
so if you go on that average, well, I think they have more than 12. They get 38 million.
Oh, 38 million. I'm way off.
So WWE has 38 million subs. So a lot of those are dead subs.
Yeah, a lot of dead subs, because you figure most of their, like, even their big videos, they get, 2 to 3 million, which is about
so I got the math
10%.
Right here. Here it is. If you throw 15% out, that's 55,700,000. So that makes sense to me. WWE probably has an active 5 million viewers on YouTube. But when they put up a video, not everybody really watches them still. So so mostly their videos do between 300,000 and 2 million. So, but they've got 5 million people that are paying it, that are there still. But those 38 million are not there. They are not there. Just like 61,000 are not here for me. Just like 108,000 are not there for JD. More like he's got 20,000 or 30,000 watching, and I've got more like 5,000-6,000 watching. Most are dead subs. So you just got to be honest. It's not people. A lot of people used to say Sean's View bought subs, when he had 100,000 subs and he had like 800 views a video. And it's like, no, that's not it. He just has like a million dead subs. He's got like thousands of dead subs, and people that forgot to unsub him or changed accounts or whatever the case is may be. So that's the issue. It's not that he really bought subs or anything like that. It's just that he's got dead subs like every other YouTuber has. Because every YouTuber is like that. Every YouTube page. You go to every YouTube page, you're gonna notice that. You go to anyone. I'll go to H3H3 for example. You go to him. His recent pregnancy announcement video probably is doing pretty good. But I'm looking at his videos. He's got an average of 2, 3, 4 million views a video.
And the funny thing with that video too is that's double dipping.
Right?
Because they already did the pregnancy announcement on the podcast a while back.
Well,
let's make another announcement weeks later on the actual channel.
H3's doing pretty good. He's actually doing pretty good but I believe the reason why his numbers are so large are because they're repeat views. His videos are repeat watchable. So he's got 6 million subscribers. Times 15% is a million. So he should be doing about 1 million views a video. But H3H3 doesn't do 1 million views a video. He does about 2 or 3 million views a video. So the reason why he's doing 2 or 3 million views a video, in my opinion, is because people are watching for a second time, and then there's a lot of people watching that aren't subbed to him. So he's doing pretty good. Well, that's the best case scenario. So that's not me trying to cop out of my theory. It's just I know why they're clicking on it again. Same reason why live videos get more views usually than your uploaded videos. Because live videos, people watch it live, and it's a long video usually, and so therefore people rewatch later. Or they can't watch it all, so they come back. So that's a second click. So you get 1, 2, or 3 clicks from one person. So if you get 10 views, half of those people are going to re-click a few times to catch up where they were. So that's going to bump up the click rate to like 20, 30, or 40 views from 10 people, all because they're coming back to click on it again, giving you a second or third or fourth even click from the same person. So 1,000 views... 1,000 viewers on a live video could result in 3, 4, 5,000 views total because those people are rewatching and joining back in. Am I going off on a weird tangent about YouTube and like shit? I'm sorry.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, it does, and I agree with you on that much because it's been about 10 to 15% of all your views are directly correlated from your sub count. So
well, we're done, man. We can wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who dropped a couple bucks tonight on the SmackDown review. Thank you guys for donating at the end there. I thought it was a shallow night up until then. Thank you for everybody who was joining us, calling, who didn't get through. I'm sorry. Tomorrow night we will try to get to as many questions as possible, come up with our theories, listen to you guys a lot. I'll be asking some Patreon questions and we'll answer those on Out of Nowhere, the wrestling podcast that will be live tonight on this very channel at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. If you're outside the country...
Got quite a bit to cover with All Elite Wrestling. And
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble, plans going forward for Mania season. There's quite a bit to cover, so...
I just want to say thank you to the people overseas that are staying up with us in the UK a lot, and people in Australia and just around the world who are watching wherever you are, late night or whatever it is. And people in the U.S. on the West Coast, it's earlier for you, and everybody else. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys think about becoming a patron to support the channel. But not only do you support the channel, you guys get 30 hours of bonus content. Some of the best shows we do are on Patreon, but there's a lot of free ones right here on YouTube as well. So for the people that can't afford anything, that's cool. We still have tons of hours of free shit on YouTube, obviously, for you. Sit through a commercial or two if you can. If you're somebody who can't pay, or just leave a like or share the videos around to your friends or whatever you got to do. Have a good New Year, everybody. It was a fun 2018 and a weird one. And I'm days away from meeting to figure out what's up with the house. By tomorrow, I should know what's going on. Hopefully we're settled by Friday, but you never know. It could go into next week. I'm clearly I'm losing more hair than John Cena. I mean, dude, when I saw John Cena's bald spot, I was like, damn, that's exactly where I went bald. Except I already went bald there. Sucks. It's no fun. By the way, isn't he going to shave his head to be Duke Nukem?
Isn't he going to be the Duke Nukem? What happened to Duke Nukem?
I've heard nothing about any updates for that.
What the fuck happened to Duke Nukem, Jake?
Right? We should look into that and see
I want to kill somebody.
Actually, I will not lead you on. I did look up the Duke Nukem news, and I did read that it is just now moving forward.
Really?
And the rumor is still that Cena plays Duke Nukem, but it's just that now it's moving forward, just now. And unfortunately, if I don't see a Deadpool-like movie out of this, I'm pissed. Because people got Deadpool the way they wanted it. I want fucking Nukem. I want naked fucking stripper chicks putting their tits in his face and him being like, hell yeah, give me some milk. Daddy needs some milk before he kills. You know, I want some fucking real Duke Nukem. And if I don't get real Duke Nukem, I'm going to be pissed the fuck off. If I get some kind of Bumblebee shit out of John Cena, I'm going to be angry. Okay? And by the way, how weird is it in WWE working with the Bumblebee stuff and then becomes this fucking murdering fucking sex chick magnet guy like in Duke Nukem? What's going to happen?
Duke and apparently they just added the Assassin's Creed producer for the movie. So
yeah,
it's like you said just now.
That's too bad.
2 weeks ago.
I don't know about that movie.
Yeah,
that didn't do so well.
Assassin's Creed was not a big hit.
Shut up and die, fucker. My name is John St. John.
That guy's name cracks me up. I love you, Duke Nukem.
St. John.
That's the best name ever. What's your name? I'm Mike Bradley. Oh, okay. What's your name?
John St. John. I'm the voice of Duke Nukem, and I like to fuck dogs.
What the hell?
That last part I was kidding. I was joking.
I love Duke Nukem, bro. I love the fuck out of Duke Nukem. I'm ready. Goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow for Out of Nowhere, guys. See you on Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. All the links to all my shit are down below. Expand it and all the links. The Facebooks, the Twitch, the Twitters, and the pictures of my neighbor. They're all down below, and you can check them out, and you can have a great time with them. So have a great time. Goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow night for Out of Nowhere here on the Joe Cronin Show. Jake DeMarco, you can hit him up on Twitter at Countdown Ended. And you can hit me up on Twitter at CorruptedPod. CorruptedPod on Twitter. Email me, JoeCroninShow@yahoo.com. And I'm going to finger bang myself.
That's why we all love the tune.
And all in a bubble game.
I'm all out of cum.
Monetize this bitch is in the air. Run Smackdown reviews, so don't you fear. So tune in every night right here. Yeah, yeah. You know it's Cronin, tell them that we own it. On almost every night, bitch, we got the potion. Laying back in my whip, puffing straight coasting. Turn on the app, it's live, Joe Cronin. Raw reviews, don't forget Smackdown too. He's on Twitch, on Twitter, and YouTube. So if you want a dose, homie, it a real shit. Tune in right now for some heel shit. It's JCS, and everybody know we the best. And everybody loves Joe Cronin. That's why we all love the tune. And everybody loves Out of Nowhere. Monetize this bitch is in the air. Run Smackdown reviews, so don't you fear.
Hey, Jake.
So tune in every night right here.
Hey, Jake, what do you give Smackdown tonight?
I give it a 4.5.
Oh, okay. I gave it a 5 out of 10, so there we go. There you go, everybody. I forgot we give our ratings. Goodbye.
And life goes on, cause we the best. Everybody know Joe states facts. More views than your ass, check the stats. Keep talking till your ass gets smacked. Keep it up, then your ass gets clapped. Everybody tunes in, cause we all love it. Joe's real, he ain't no motherfucking fake puppet. Tells you what it is, homie, and you better love it. And if not 2 words, bitch, go suck it. JCS, and everybody know we the best. And everybody loves Joe Cronin. That's why we all love the tune. And everybody loves Out of Nowhere. Monetize this bitch is in the air. Run Smackdown reviews, so don't you fear. So tune in every night right here. Yeah, yeah. It's JCS, and everybody know we the best. And everybody loves Joe.